Who.
Hello, and welcome to Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm there's a plane overhead. we're on the runway. We better head over to this hangar quickly before, let's just go over to this hangar before we carry on. Whoa, that was really low, wasn't it?
Hold on, people.
Right, sorry. Right, we're in the hangar now. Sorry, that plane just went really low. What was I saying? I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I am new to watching Who.
Yep, watching for the very first time. Right, I think we're all right in this hangar. I think we can do the podcast from here. Look, we can use these packing crates, put the mics
Seriously,
on that.
if someone can let us know what you're feeling about Mark's new intros.
I thought that was a good one.
That would be great.
It's fine, there's no chameleons in here. I've checked.
I've checked.
Yeah, we're at Gatwick Airport. Hangar number...
Chameleon
Tours hangar. Well, I don't really have any updates this week.
No? Well, I sent you a picture from my Facebook page. Facebook has started suggesting Doctor Who pages to me. Like, we think you'd like. And I was like, hang on a minute. I'm not too happy about this. I blame you.
I haven't done anything.
I wouldn't be doing Doctor Who stuff anyway unless it was for you. So you are part to blame for it regardless.
Anyway, we're here to talk about the Faceless ones. And this is a 6-part story.
You also thought this was the last in the season last episode.
I forgot. I did tell you it was the last one. I think I've edited that out of last week's. But it's not the last one of the season. But we're very near the end of season 4. Next week will be the end of season 4.
Mark just taunting me constantly with this.
It just felt like a long season. And we watched 4 one night, and then we've watched the other 2 just now. So we had to split up the 6.
That's the rule.
That's what we do. Yeah.
4 is my max I can do in one sitting.
Well, should we just go straight into the story and go bit by bit as we normally do?
And then get diverted. Yeah, let's do it.
We always go off we always start really well into episode 1, I've noticed. And we go bit by bit, and then something happens and we just skip to the end, and then we go back, and then it just goes off track. We do not follow the story. So that will happen again.
Yeah. But we try.
So this story, we're back in contemporary Earth, 1966 as it were. So actually, this is set on the same day as the War Machines, we find out.
Yes. So you've already gone to the end, Mark.
Yeah, I know, but I was just saying. Well, at the beginning, because that's where they land. So the setting, Gatwick Airport, this is very recognisable. This is current. I'm guessing they did a bit of filming actually at Gatwick Airport.
Probably.
I forgot to look that up. But
Mark has one job. That's just a lie. Mark edits everything. But research.
But the opening is great. They land, and they're on that runway like we were just now, and this plane comes overhead. It's a great opening, isn't it, for a story? And they run out the TARDIS bit by bit. Polly's got her long hair back.
It's a flying beastie!
I found the beginning really odd, if I'm honest.
Well, you got Jamie being like, what is that? Which is great. It's a flying beastie. The police are immediately after them because there's a phone box on the runway. Ben runs the wrong way.
Yeah, he runs right into a policeman.
When you're running away from someone, don't run parallel with them. I think that's the lesson. And they all get split off pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, right into the story. I quite like that.
Nothing is said. There's not really much other than the flying beasties. I didn't even see it arrive for TARDIS. I didn't even remember
Maybe you just looked away at that point. It did happen. I think you were looking at your phone when that all happened, actually, to be honest. They landed, the plane came out. I think you completely missed that.
Probably, because he just felt very just in it all of a sudden.
Well, that's great. Why not just land them right in the middle of a runway?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I found it a really odd start because there was a lot of running, no one really talking. And I was like, what's going on? But they were on it. And suddenly the police were straight away chasing them.
I suppose with not a lot of talking, there's the action because it's on film and they're running and the police are after them and they're on the little bikes and things. And then Polly's into the hangar, goes into the Chameleon Tours hangar and sees this guy being killed. So that's a great bit of sort of intrigue straight away. Yeah. I really like this episode because this came out in one of the very last video box sets.
Tell us your story, Mark.
It was the same box set as The Reign of Terror.
Oh, okay.
Which is so it was Reign of Terror on one video, these 2 Faceless ones, episodes on another. So I know the existing ones quite well because I watched it and I really enjoyed watching this opening. And also what I say, I've got the soundtrack, and I know I say every single time I've got the soundtrack, but I've never got through it to the end. This is one that I have got through to the end. I remember listening to this.
Ah.
I think I got it in 6th form. You know, I had my CD Walkman.
Yeah,
portable CD Walkman, sitting there in, I don't know, probably supposed to be doing my English essay. But I had the Faceless ones. I used to just listen, or Big Finish CDs, when I was supposed to be working.
First off, I'll just say I really enjoyed this. Even though it had my frustration of, I got to, I think maybe the end of the 2nd or the 3rd. I think it was the 3rd. And I went to you like, I don't really know what's like happened. And you're like, I went, no, I know what's happening, but nothing's happened.
Well, it's 6 parts. It's padded out a little bit. Like all 6 parts are, but there's enough characters that come in and out. Loads of characters. Well, okay, let's talk about the setting first. I really like the airport stuff and the Doctor and Jamie, and they don't have passports.
Yes.
That's quite funny. They work really well together because Ben and Polly disappear for most of this story.
They are gone. They're gone.
Which is a real shame.
Polly wasn't annoying me or anything, so...
Yeah, well, she didn't have a chance.
No.
Well, okay, sorry, we're going back and forth quite a lot.
Well, no, actually, at the end of the first episode, because we watched it together, and you went, what do you think? And I went, I like this Polly.
Well, yeah, I mean, she hasn't done... Well,
she's a chameleon, but...
Ben disappears first. You don't see Ben for a while. He runs off. Polly, we find she's captured pretty much straight away. She witnesses this murder, and then she gets, chameleoned, if we're going to call it that.
Yeah.
And she says she's somebody else. And I
enjoyed that.
She's the receptionist at the chameleon tours thing.
She's used to being taken over by other things.
Well, yeah, it was Ben last week, it's Polly again this week.
Yeah.
And even Jamie gets in on it later on at the end of the story. So they're all taken over at some point. So in the setting, my favourite bit is the photo booth where the Doctor, Jamie and Ben get in the photo booth. That's a good moment. It's moments like that which I would like to see. Yeah. If they exist.
Yeah.
Because there's still comedy in this.
Oh yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a really good story.
You've got the Commandant, and obviously they don't believe them, what's going on, and that gets a little frustrating for me because there's a lot of back and forth. You know, they don't have their passports, they're going to get arrested, or, you know, all that stuff. So
it's another one of the classic things of the Doctor can literally just walk out of a room and then walk back in and they're like, oh, you again. Like,
he's in and out of that command centre so much.
Ah, Commandant, how nice to see you again.
Airport police, please.
But at least hear what I have to say.
I've heard all I want to from you. What do you mean they're engaged? This is the Commandant. Thank you.
If you're going to speak to the police, then tell them that there's something happening in this airport that may endanger human lives.
And considering that, like, he's under arrest because he ain't got a passport, they don't know where he's coming from, he gets out, he just walks out, he just, like, runs away. Like 3 times he runs away from them.
Because they're after Jamie and the Doctor for a while, aren't they? They're all on the lookout. And Jamie's got his newspaper upside down. And,
but then he walks back. He just walks in. He goes, no, we're going to have to sort this. He just walks in.
Yeah. Yeah, that got a little bit annoying after episode 2 and 3.
There's a lot of padding.
The idea. So you got a great end of episode 1 with the chameleon, and you see its hands, and they're walking it up the escalator through the airport, which I don't know why nobody notices.
Yeah.
Into the medical bay. So that's a good intrigue. And just before that, you've got hypnotised Polly saying, I'm French. I don't know. You know, I had an English governess. That's why I talk like this.
Is she French?
Is it something like that?
Something
she
like
says
that.
she's
from somewhere
else. They're like, well, why are you speaking such good English? And she's like, well. So you have that moment, and then with the chameleon, that builds up to a great end of episode 1. There's some great characters in this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Samantha.
Yeah, I like Samantha.
Samantha is great.
I was hoping she would.
I knew you were sort of, yeah.
I was hoping she would. But when she disobeyed, that was when I was like, you won't.
I think when they were making this, they had her in mind, and I think she turned it down.
Ah, okay.
Like, I think it was a potential. If she was up for it, I think she would have carried on. You can see she's that companion role, which is great because she's a good character, but it's just annoying because Ben and Polly are written out in order for some other characters to come in. And I know they had like holiday or it's probably contracts and stuff. They only probably were contracted for like 4 episodes, so they couldn't do something like that.
She was great. I knew the minute that she disobeyed the doctor and decided...
What did she do?
She was like, I'm going to get on the plane. And he was like, stop it. And she's like, no, you can't stop me. I'm doing it. I was like, you're not going to be companion.
She's there. She's looking for her brother.
Oh, are you in charge here?
Yes. Can I help you?
Yes. I'm Samantha Briggs and I've come down from Liverpool.
Really?
It's about my brother, Brian Briggs.
Brian Briggs. That was quite good, actually. She says it a lot. That's why. That was really good.
Brian Briggs.
That was. I can do a Liverpool accent really well. Oh well, obviously.
Mark's just showing me his chest.
I don't know why.
There's nothing there.
I don't know why it just opened my.
Mark's just opened his dressing gown and gone.
That sounds really bad. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry.
You've got a Liverpool top on it.
I don't know. I did it as if I did have a Liverpool top on. But I don't have a Liverpool top on.
No, Mark just like undid his dressing gown for me.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What is that, a TARDIS?
No, it's a Doctor Who t-shirt. I have a Doctor Who t-shirt on, by the way. It's just and my TARDIS dressing gown. Well, yeah, obviously at Liverpool. Oh my god.
Obviously, Doctor Who t-shirt.
I completely lost what I'm talking about now. Brian Briggs, yeah. So she's after, and I showed you the telesnap of her hat.
Have I ever told you, have we ever said my Liverpool phrase?
No.
Like, so at home, there was a guy from Liverpool, and he was like, if you ever want to sound scouse, say this phrase. And it's, they do that down there, though, don't they, though?
I can't, I'm not even going to attempt that.
They do that
They
down,
do that
down there, though.
Don't they, though? They do that, no. No.
They do that down there, though, don't they, though?
I'll stick with Brian Briggs.
Brian Briggs.
So anyway, she's looking for her brother Brian. And and she's got this cool hat, which they don't animate, which is... There's always something in these animations, and I had to show you the telesnap.
Yeah,
I'm going to make one of those hats.
Okay,
I will post a picture of me in that hat.
It's just a white top
but
hat.
it's just weird, isn't it? I'd love to see that.
It's so weird. It's so out of place. Like, when you sent it me, I looked at it for a long time, like...
It would completely change the scene, I think. It would take over those scenes.
It would. It'd just be that giant white hat.
Yeah.
It took me a while to... I thought someone had photoshopped a hat on it. I thought that's what you were showing me to begin with.
No, that's actually in the thing. And so she doesn't like Polly, which is quite funny. Because Polly's like hypnotising the desk and she's getting annoyed with Polly. Like, being like, oh, you're stuck up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she's not wrong, is she? Let's be honest.
Yeah, is that why you like Samantha so much?
No, just I thought she was a good, strong character.
And she gets on with Jamie, so she makes friends with Jamie first. That's a nice relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Jamie's first love interest.
Yeah, and you got 2 snogs.
Maybe second if you count Polly.
Our theory of Polly.
Our theory of Polly. So this is Jamie's second.
1/2. But he got a snog here. That said, we don't know if he's not been snogging off camera, so...
Yeah.
Just
so
saying.
Maybe there is.
She pieces it together quicker than Jamie and the doctor. And Jamie's like, no, we've got to wait 30 minutes. She's like, why? Like, she's good.
Yeah, she just wants to get this. She wants to sort it out. She's fed up.
She reminds me of Dodo. An older Dodo.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I think she's stronger than Dodo.
Yeah, but that comes with age, doesn't it?
Maybe,
Dodo's supposed to be like 16. I can imagine that being Dodo. Like, she's supposed to be a bit older and she's got like a brother. I don't know how old maybe she's like 22, 21, something like that. And Dodo's supposed to be 16.
Yeah, okay.
So I can imagine that she's got that sort of like get up and go characteristics of Dodo and that realness of Dodo. Yeah. Dodo was very like down to earth and real in like... Yeah, not phased.
Nothing phases her. Yeah, with Samantha.
Yeah,
that's what it is, I think. And she goes through it. She gets tied up with the Doctor and Jamie with that laser thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't go into space in the end. She doesn't go that far, but she helps find the bodies at the end with the secretary. lady as well, and she's in and out of the office. She's let everywhere after, like, she's part of the team,
that
isn't
secretary's
she?
having. Apparently, this is all in a day as well,
This is
isn't
all in
it?
a day. It's all happening. That
All in one
secretary
day.
and
The secretary's having a great office day. She's like, gets me out of here.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll go and look in a car park for some bodies.
yeah,
Or I'll go into the chameleon's office and scour through there. Or I'll double bluff at a mill.
yeah. She does. She does everything, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
She was
It's a
good.
great team, and it makes up for lack of Ben and Polly, because I'm sure if they were written in, then they would have to do bits and pieces of that, or they would be the ones trying to find the bodies at the end. There were so many characters, because with the Commandant, he doesn't believe everything, and he's like, you liked him, didn't you? You thought he was all right.
He's all right, yeah. I did not like
eventually
him.
believes and like ends up saying to the doctor, right, help. Then you get that detective as well.
The detective's great.
He's thrown into the mix. And when he first comes in, I thought, hang on, is this too many characters now? And actually, the Commandant and the detective looked exactly the same to me. When there's a scene with them face to face, it's like a mirror. They're like glasses and moustache, like just talking to each other.
Well, I mean, we know the police are the same.
Oh yeah, and the police, we were saying that I think in terms of animation, that's copy and paste for the characters. When you have a
There's
group of
ones,
policemen,
like, again, we're jumping back, like episode 6, and they're all coming out one by one, and it's literally the same. They do the same run, the next one looks identical doing the same run. Yeah, copy and paste police.
the Doctor stays quite central throughout, and he has. I'm just trying to remember stuff, because he investigates with Jamie. They find when they're taking the things off the shelves to go through to find the chameleon secret base thing. They're very neat, weren't they? Taking
I was just like,
bit by
whack
bit
it
off
off.
the shelves.
Yeah.
And they find the secret door, and then the Doctor has the ice moment at the end of the episode. He gets frozen.
Yeah.
And then in the office, he has to prove that air control guy is a chameleon. There's a lot of that.
I would say
There's a lot of. I think a lot of the story.
2 and 3 definitely, maybe 4, but definitely episodes 2 and 3 are great, but nothing happened. Like,
No,
I don't
it
learn
slows down.
anything.
It's the Doctor trying to prove what's going on and then not believing him. They have to go through that quite a bit.
So, I mean, because actually he gets frozen before he goes back and finds the thing, doesn't he? He sort of goes into that room and then he's like, there's something here. There's a door. I don't know where it is. But there was like a lot of that where I was like, what have I learnt? Like, if I was to write down on a piece of paper now what I've learnt, what have I learnt? There's not a lot.
Well, they're trying to work out who's behind everything, aren't they? And you've got in that hangar the chameleon tours. They know there's something up, but they can't prove it.
Yeah.
Because Captain Blade is controlling people and doing things.
I needed more. Like, I want to get to the end of an episode. I don't need to know everything, obviously, by the end of like, episode 2, because then it's even more boring. But I want to have learnt something new. And I felt a lot of this. I just get to it and I was like, lots has happened.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that. Like, he went and got frozen. But what did we learn from that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, there's alien technology, I suppose. But we know as the audience, because we've seen the chameleon, there's aliens. They don't know that it's aliens.
Yeah.
It takes a very long time
It's
for
a
them
lot
to
of
get that
that.
conclusion. And to get... By the time you get to episode 4 and 5, everyone's on the same side. They're all working together to sort out the chameleons.
It's 5, really.
And
It's not until episode 5.
Yeah, it's not until later on. But you have to go through those things. It's just part of the Doctor Who narrative, isn't it?
It's like, so we're into like the medical bay, you know, managed to, because of that going on. And he finds a body, he finds that double, and he finds the wristbands. I'm like, okay, he doesn't come back and go until much later, actually. Those wristbands don't come back until, I think, end of 4.
The little Wii remotes, we call them.
We got the Wii remotes.
Nintendo remote.
Or my Prime stick.
Yeah.
It looked like my stick. I like it if he came back and said, like, I think they do this, or look what I found. Maybe it does this, or something. Like, whereas there was just a lot of, like, I don't know, like the vent thing, like him being made cold, you know. Why was he made cold, of all things? Was cold beneficial?
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? That's what their guns seem to do.
Oh, no, they electrify. It was to electrocute.
Oh, yeah.
Why cold?
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, was it like, I think this is the same thing that they used to freeze the body that I found earlier. Nothing like I don't even know, but I don't know.
I liked it towards the end of the story, we do go up into space and we get a different setting. That helps
Yeah.
the story feel a bit more epic. If it was all just down in Gatwick for the whole 6 episodes and we just heard about them upstairs, I was going to say up in space, then that wouldn't... At least you get that change of
I
pace.
didn't get that they were miniaturised until they actually said they were miniaturised.
Well, we see that... Well, they're all sitting on the plane. Okay,
And then they're not sitting on a
and then
plane.
they're not sitting on the plane. We see Samantha's going to go up. She gets a ticket. She's like, right, I'm going to see what happens on this flight. And she gets a ticket and Jamie steals her ticket and then she can't find the ticket.
Yeah.
So she's not allowed on. Jamie goes on the plane.
Doesn't like the smell of the food.
I mean, Jamie's done really well to walk around Gatwick. I mean, he was scared of the plane. He didn't know what passports were.
No.
He's still getting acclimatised to the 60s.
He like blurts out, like, tell him about TARDIS.
Yeah, that's quite funny though, isn't it?
Yeah, I like all that.
And he feels...
He's real.
And he feels plane sick.
Yeah, but that's what I like about Jamie, that he just seems real.
Yeah. And that's where you see all the people on the plane. And that's how he gets out of it, because he goes off to be ill. That's when they all get miniaturised.
I'd be like, tell him about... Like, you know, you're about to be arrested, or I'd be like, tell them something.
Yeah. I was going to say, how much have you flown?
Me?
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, what my quite a bit is might not be someone else's. So, hello, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I've been to America, Prague. I've been, like, in the UK flights.
Okay.
And stuff.
I've only ever been on a plane twice in my whole life, and the first time was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
The very first time I was past 30 by the first time I ever went on a plane. Everybody, I've been to Glasgow and to Ireland on a plane. That is it.
Yeah.
And 40 minutes is enough for me. It was all right. It was okay. I don't
You'd
feel
hate
ill or
America.
anything. I don't feel... I'm not like Jamie. I wasn't like ill. I was nervous. But the best thing to do is, when you feel nervous, just look at the air stewards and stuff, because they're just like, they do it all the time, and they're just like, whatever, and there's turbulence, and they're just carrying on, they're chatting or whatever, ignoring everything. And if they're okay, then you feel okay. My only thing with flight is, I'm like, I can't get out if I want to get out.
No.
That is what I...
Kind of like a moving train, though.
A train... Okay, it's very unlikely. If whatever happens, you can jump out of a train or whatever, or you get somewhere. In a plane, I feel more trapped on a plane. That is a problem.
The thing is, it's such a normal thing for us, like being up in the air, and you're in, like you say. But I don't know. I find like the initial can be a bit. Ooh.
The island trip, the second one, was worse. That was worse because also at night time when you're looking out and you see there's the lights on the side of the thing. I always think that's lightning or something. It looks like lightning to me. The worst one was on the way back from Ireland. And, okay, yeah, we'd had drinks and food and stuff in the afternoon, so maybe that was not great. I felt really ill and there was quite a bit of turbulence. And I was just thinking, it's only like 40 minutes. It'll be fine. Just breathe. Really awful.
I had one that was like really, really bad turbulence. And I was with someone who'd flown a lot, like done a lot of, and they said that's the scariest I felt on a plane.
Oh my gosh! Well, that doesn't help, does it?
No, but I didn't say it till afterwards. But they were like, that's like the most turbulence I've ever experienced.
I'd like to do more though. I would do more. It's just that trappedness. I can't do anything. It's great. There's like, here's a rubber dinghy. I'm like, well, it doesn't help having a rubber dinghy if you're up in the air.
Well, how different is that to like the water?
Well, no, in the water, if I was on Titanic, I would sort it out.
No, you wouldn't. Women and children first.
I know, but I would sort it out.
You're screwed.
No,
I'm fine.
I feel like the Titanic situation I could sort out.
Are you putting a wig on or something, Mark?
No,
women and children
I feel
first.
I'll just jump in the sea and find something to float on. I would do something. I would not, like in a boat, I'd feel all right.
But, worst case scenario, right? So plane, so, you know, you get your oxygen things down.
Yeah.
The plane crashes into the water.
Yeah.
And then things come out and you go onto boats anyway.
Yeah, I know, but it's the crashing into the water bit that I don't like.
No, but it's so rare.
Yeah,
Think
I know.
how many. And also...
I know,
like,
that's the thing, yeah.
That's just, like, I think there's more train accidents than there are... So there's something about, I can't remember who's telling me this, but there's something about they have to say what it is. At pretty much most journeys, an animal will be hit by a train. And they're constantly like just cleaning off animal. And you always hear stuff like animal on the line and stuff, don't you? There's an animal, right? That's because they've just hit an animal and they've had to stop to clean it. It happens like a lot, apparently. But quite often they could do a whole journey, get to the end and like, what's that? Oh yeah, dead sheep. And it has to go and be cleaned off. I always hear there's an animal on the line. Or there's leaves.
Yeah, leaves.
Oh, leaves is leaves is the most annoying. Like,
anyway, we've gone completely off topic. Gone way off topic here. Well, if I probably wouldn't get on a Chameleon Tours unless it was a UK flight, so I'd be all right. I wouldn't end up in space. I'd be okay.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right. Budget, cheap getaway for young people, wasn't it? Between 16 and 21
Rome
or whatever.
Like Italy. I've been to Italy though.
How did you get there?
Coach.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Essex to Italy on a coach. Is a long time. I don't. It's over 24 hours on a coach. It was pretty much non-stop.
When I was 7, we went to Disneyland Paris for my 7th birthday, and my dad didn't like flying. He went once on like when the planes first like started, and he hated it that much. He never went on again. And his best friend was the pilot, and was like, "Richard, like, get over it. Come on, planes." Like, and I think at one point he was with Concorde and stuff, and he was like, "Look, come on this plane with me." And he was like, "No, not doing it." So my dad never flew. So we did Paris, and we did it by coach from Blackburn.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just...
So it took like a day to get there, and we stayed over in early Paris. Next day was in Disneyland, and then I remember my mum being like, "Never again." Like,
yeah, it's really bad. It is awful. Although, just to link that to Doctor Who, in Italy, right? So this was Tonale. I hope I'm saying that right. This like whatever region of Italy that this coach went to.
Yeah.
In the hotel basement, there was like a games room. They had like pool. It was like concrete, not very nice.
Yeah.
They had the Doctor Who pinball machine. And I was like, yes. This was like 98. This really grotty, like, room.
Yeah.
And there it was, the Doctor Who pinball machine. I took a photo of it. I'll post it up.
Yeah, dig it out.
And I was like, yeah, this is really cool. It's like, and then you play it and it's like, oh, it's just a pinball machine.
With Doctor
Who on it. That's quite rare to find one of those. So in a basement in Tonale, in Italy, if anyone's looking for the Doctor Who pinball machine... that's where it is.
I didn't even know they were a thing. What do you hit, like the...
You know the little things?
Yeah.
Like
I'm just thinking, like, but there's always things on it, aren't there?
There's all
to
like artwork of the Doctors and stuff.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the
like
artwork
Daleks
was.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture of it.
Yeah, do.
I think it's quite sought after. The pinball. Everyone will be listening to this clamber into Tonale now.
It's probably not there anymore.
Anyway, right, back to Chameleon Tours. Maybe going to Tonale, I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, no, they're not. They're going into space, we find out.
Yeah.
So that is a good cliffhanger when the plane goes up into this space station. So we go from contemporary story to a spacey...
I'd like to see the film of the plane going from the skies and then up into that spaceship. And out again.
I'd like to see what the chameleons... there are some photos of it. Obviously, the animation makes them look a little bit better than what they were, I think. I
think the name The Faceless Ones is a bit naff. I expected no face.
Well, yeah, they don't. They
have eyes.
I think the actual thing is just like nothing.
Yeah, that's
I think they are faceless, but in the animation they have given them more of a face, I think. What else are we talking about then?
Well, should we just talk about the big thing?
Did you say 1966?
Yes.
What month is it?
July. July the 20th, to be precise.
What are you getting at?
Well, don't you see, Duchess? July the 20th, 1966 is when it all began. We're back to when it all started. Well, I think.
That means it's as if we've never been away.
You really want to go, don't you?
Well, let's just talk about Ben and Polly leaving then.
I'd like to say that I felt emotional about it, and I kind of wanted to, but I didn't.
Well, you didn't know it was coming up.
No, I didn't.
And it happens very suddenly.
So I kept saying to you, where are they? And we were like, they must be on holiday.
It's a Dodo situation in a way. They're just so bad at writing out the characters. They don't... I feel like once they're like, right, these guys' contracts are coming up. They're only in like however many episodes of this story. Fine. And it feels like once they know that, there's no care to give them a good ending or to do anything else with their characters.
It's really weird.
And it feels like they're already thinking ahead now, right? They're gone. It doesn't matter.
We've got Jamie.
Did you have any idea that, did you think like with the three of them, it might be time for a change or?
I didn't expect it now. I don't know why. I thought that they went on longer.
But if you were thinking that Samantha was a possible, did you think, is someone going to leave and she's going to take their place? Or she's going to join and we're going to have her as well?
I genuinely thought, before she decided to go against the Doctor, I thought that there was going to be 4 of them.
Yeah, I think 4 companions in the Doctor is way... Imagine,
a lot.
That would be a lot. And they leave together.
Poor Jamie.
So they start together and leave together.
Yeah. Which you had to. I thought they were on for longer because you've told me about how fans really like them and have such a thing for Ben and Polly. And I thought perhaps they were on in the same way that Ian and Barbara are on for 2 years.
Yeah, they've only really done a year. And
I thought for characters that are and also for characters that don't have episodes, and they're not, none of these episodes really are, out there. So you've got to be an uber fan to really like Ben and Polly and have given the time to listen to the audio so I guess that's why.
So I think according to Annika Wills, I think they wanted to get rid of Ben and keep Polly and Jamie on. And then I think she decided, well, if he's going, I want to go as well, and didn't want to carry on. So I think the option was there for Polly to carry on. But I'm glad that they left at the same time.
Yeah, same.
So you're not really going to miss them then?
Well, it's just weird. It was just a really weird ending for them. They just weren't there.
It was just
and she's growing her hair back.
And they're like, we just want to stay. I can see how, we're back now, because they have always...
talked about
going back, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise in that way.
No. It wasn't a surprise. And it was nicer than what they did with Dodo.
Oh, I mean, only just.
Well, Dodo wasn't even there.
Yeah, I know.
Dodo they sent
at least they filmed a scene saying goodbye.
Yeah. Dodo didn't even get that.
They could have very easily just been like, we've got a message. Ben and Polly say they're going to stay in Gatwick.
Yeah.
In Gatwick. Stay on Earth. From
an audience point of view, I feel like you have greater closure. They must have learnt from Dodo leaving.
I don't think they do. I don't think they care. They still don't care.
But in terms of actually having them appear to leave, they must have learnt from Dodo for that.
Yeah,
it's been a year. There must have been enough fans just what? Of the time being what? That person's just gone? That they were next time they have to at least be there. So even if you don't have the care to give them a decent story to go out on, at least they had the care to be we'll have them go.
And Jamie's sad. I don't know if that was on the animation.
His animated tear that isn't there. He just wipes his eye. Bit of dust.
Yeah. So that's sad.
Bit of Gatwick dust.
Oh, sorry. I'm just looking up on TARDIS Wiki what happened to Ben and Polly afterwards in the...
Oh, okay. And they lived happily ever after.
Well, apparently, I'm just seeing what... apparently, Ben proposed to Polly in 1966 at the top of the post office tower. Which was, unbeknownst to them, witnessed by the 9th Doctor and Rose, apparently. They're in some story.
Oh, my God.
Their relationship did not last.
No. Doesn't surprise me.
Polly was a glamour girl during the 60s, queen of the disco in the 70s. Gave up smoking in the 80s. She married someone called Simon and was pregnant in 1981 with his child.
Let's be honest, Ben always cared more for Polly than Polly did for Ben.
She had a son. On New Year's Eve 1986, Polly met with Ben in a hotel room, something that she kept secret from her husband, and reminisced about the snow cap and their time with the Doctor. They almost kissed, but after a distraction, Polly decided to leave. And then her husband died. She has a difficult relationship with her son, who refused to speak to her for 3 months after he walked in on her with a sailor that she'd met whilst drinking in Soho.
Oh, flashback.
She became a public figure, resumed smoking and struggled with bulimia.
Oh, my gosh. Resume smoking.
Polly often attended the funerals of celebrities to get her face in the newspapers.
That is so Polly. That is, whoever did that storyline for Polly, hats off. That is so fucking Polly. Slash Annika.
She went to Princess of Wales' funeral where she comforted Elton John.
In 97, yeah.
97. In 2009...
You're going to have to read the Diana one.
In 2009, she's working in a government office. Something about... There was another funeral they were at in 1999. Polly was manipulated into travelling through time and interfering in history. However, the second Doctor and Jamie were able to resolve the disturbances and reunited her with Ben. The four of them drank Sauvignon and reminisced about their adventures together. With his wife gone, Ben admitted his love to Polly and they kissed.
Like, Polly, at one point, we're convinced that she was having a thing with Jamie, so...
Ben married a woman whom he did not tell of his dreams of Polly and his nightmares of killing a Cyberman. Comes back to haunt him.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Oh, in 2010, Sarah Jane Smith stated that Ben and Polly were running an orphanage together in India.
That's not them.
Yeah, well, by 2010...
That's not them.
There's not as much for Ben.
Ben, to be fair, Ben was probably just like a Marine.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Mentioned.
Well, do you want to see what Michael Cray said in this Doctor Who magazine?
Yeah.
Thing? There's a few...
So this isn't him talking.
No, it's about him.
It's about him. And it said something about... Mike was 23 when he landed the role of 24-year-old able seaman Ben Jackson. Ben was an honest, practical, down-to-earth man who, according to his original character description, ran away from an unhappy home at the age of 15 and went to sea. Mike was particularly pleased to be able to play a sympathetic, three-dimensional Cockney character. Many of his roles up to that point have been street urchins, tough and rebels.
I'd say that was sort of Ben in a way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was three-dimensional.
Well, it was nice in him caring for... He had the sympathetic side in that he cared for... Rather than just being tough, and, you know.
He just got angrier and angrier. That was the problem.
But he cared a lot about Polly, and he did care about things. And he was usually the one that would, like... use some of maybe, I call it street smarts, but maybe some also of his training from being at sea and stuff to figure things out when he was alone. He'd be like, hang on, so why won't they come in this room? It was almost like his sea training was thinking of the enemy.
Yeah.
So, and he used that in, I guess, a sympathetic way, but he just got angrier, yeah. Ben's name was, of course, synonymous with that of Polly, played by Annika Wells. The pair were charged with the responsibility of bringing Doctor Who into the contemporary scene. Mike had always felt that the ailing Hartnell had been uncomfortable with the late arrival of two young actors as his companions. However, with Troughton's arrival, the series regular became more of a close-knit and happy team. Mike fondly remembered Troughton's gift for humour, although he and Annika instigated their share of practical jokes too, from debagging their colleague inside the TARDIS. I don't know what that means. That's what it says. I'm not being... Look. Debagging. Debagging.
It means take someone's trousers off.
Okay. So they debagged in their colleague inside the TARDIS. To the infamous occasion on which they appeared in T-shirts bearing the legend, "Come back, Bill Hartnell, all is forgiven." Mike particularly enjoyed the chance to appear in Doctor Who's final two proper historical stories. His interest in history once stretched to him becoming the vice chairman of an antiquarian society in Norfolk. His one regret was that he would have liked Ben to have had a dramatic death rather than being phased out of the series as he was.
I suppose because those two, maybe they're remembered, like you said, because there's not many of them existing, because they were there at that first regeneration.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why...
They're
fans remember them so well. Maybe if they didn't have that moment and they were just sort of halfway through a Doctor for a season...
They might blur a little bit more.
But they were, I suppose, in the War Machines, they were so... I mean, we had Dodo and Stephen before.
Yeah.
And then we go to Ben and Polly.
I think...
It's such a big difference.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're probably famous for that, for shifting it into this modern...
I think that's their sort of legacy of those characters. Yeah, and Jamie is still... Do you still see Jamie as new?
No, I don't see him as new.
I think this is the story where Jamie is...
In it.
He's starting to... I mean, there are those moments, like we've said, about him not knowing his surroundings and things, but he's settling in more now.
Yeah.
He's not that historical character as much
and
as he was.
And you get the comedy with Jamie. I noticed there's a lot more comedy.
Yeah, the comedy between him and the Doctor
Yeah.
They get on very well.
Which you didn't get with Polly and Ben.
You didn't get
mean, you get the fun of, like, Jamie holding the newspaper upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think Ben and Polly work well together as a little duo.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Doctor and Jamie. And just to go back and wrap up the chameleon story, so the Doctor negotiates and it's all wrapped up very quick.
We should have got the Doctor on Brexit. Right, because that took months Brexit. Well, years as Brexit. The Doctor sorted out getting 55,000 humans off a plane back to Earth, and you've got to sort your own shit out in about 3 minutes.
He's like, chameleons, don't do this. Go and find another solution.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily give them a solution.
Take them all back and make them big again.
Yeah. Like, how many flights is that back and forth if they've got one plane?
Well, they're all little.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but they'd make them big again on the way down, I think.
I don't know. It's a button, isn't it? I guess they just put people in, push the button, and then they go big again.
You can only do a plane full at a time. So you're like...
Yeah, I don't think it takes long to make...
Yeah.
It's just it does take time.
You're flying up and down the Earth.
I think they could just do it on Earth, couldn't they? Like, they'd have in my head, it's all arrived back, and they're just putting people there. Push the button to make them big, off they go. Next up, push the button to make them big, off they go. They've got to do that for 55,000 people.
Because they're not like baddies, are they? Like monsters.
They're just trying to save their own race.
They're just trying to so that's a nice angle.
Yeah.
They're not doing it... Because Captain Blade, we haven't talked about, he's a great villain character, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
He was a villain in Keys of Marinus.
Yeah, you said that.
Thing. Yeah.
When it comes to it, I don't see him as a villain, because in the end he ends up agreeing and helping.
Yeah, but throughout most of it, at the beginning, you're like, oh, he's the baddie of the story. He's the one.
Yeah, yeah. But it was quite nice that I quite liked that about this story, that they are bad. They do a bad thing, but also they don't... it's not like they're having to kill them to, like...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you weren't really sure what they're doing, because the humans don't die, because they could have, like, killed them and took over, and that's it. But they all come back.
Yeah, and it's interesting that actually, none of them would have died, because only that one dies. 2 die. The nurse, who then willingly goes on a ship with the Doctor, and that one to prove that they have the bodies.
Yeah, when they go sort of into the mush.
If they'd have had those bodies 10 minutes earlier...
Yeah, exactly.
None of them would have died, because they're like, we found them in the cars.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, actually...
What are you thinking for the Doctor and Jamie?
They just walked off, didn't they?
Well, we're sort of going...
So we're still in 1966.
We're still in 1966, and the TARDIS has been stolen, apparently.
Yeah, so they've got to go and find her.
They go off and find it. They could enlist... Dodo's around somewhere.
Yeah.
Call her up.
So it was interesting that basically Ben and Polly have just like, okay, we're off, walked off, but they are still in 66, Jamie and the Doctor.
Yeah, they're still at the moment, yes.
Yeah, I found that interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
So it is a 7-parter next. Do you want the title of the story?
Yeah. Oh, go on.
The Evil of the Daleks.
Do you know what?
Said you like Daleks. That's why I was like...
I should have known it was going to be a Dalek long one. Because they always are. They're always really long. Oh, well. But I enjoyed the other one because they did something different.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And
Has Jamie met the Daleks yet?
No.
No, they came after, didn't they? He came after the...
Well, okay. Well, yeah, we didn't really go through the story in that much detail, but it was more the characters for this one, I think.
Yeah, and
for us,
to be honest, it just was what it was. There was a lot of padding.
I'm glad it got animated.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh. What was a really long scene when he was on the ship?
When Jamie's walking around the ship at the beginning of episode 5.
I said to you,
silence.
I'm glad that this is animated.
Audio, I'd be like, Jamie walks along the corridor and investigates the filing cabinet.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Glad that was animated.
Yeah. So the next one isn't animated, unfortunately.
Okay.
And there's only one episode that exists.
So
sorry,
we're back
more bad
to
news.
telesnaps.
We're back to telesnaps.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't mind the telesnaps. Yeah. As long as I never have to do audio, that's fine.
Yeah, no, we'll never have to do audio. It's
good. Because I just won't. I'll just refuse. No, escape didn't happen.
Cool. Okay. Well, yeah. And the end of the season next week. So we will see you all for the Evil of the Daleks. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at TwoWatchWho. And I'm sure I'll put a picture of the pinball machine and all sorts of things up there. Okay. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Two
Who?